A narrow escape for a driver on SR 14. Southwest Washington Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler responds to presidential tweets. And the 151st Clark County Fair kicks off. Those stories and more on today's edition of the Weekend Review from ClarkCountyToday.com. Well, happy Friday, everyone. I'm Chris Brown. Welcome to August, if you can believe it. Earlier this week, we heard from a Vancouver woman who narrowly escaped serious injury after a stray bullet struck the vehicle she was driving along SR 14, and police are still looking for answers. 27-year-old Jessica Sweeten says she was headed home from seeing Wicked in Portland on Tuesday, July 23rd, heading east on SR 14 between Evergreen Boulevard and Lisa Road when the driver's side window exploded inward.
All of a sudden I just heard a really loud noise just coming from my left. It was so loud I thought the airbag had actually gone off. It was just a really loud boom noise. And then, I just felt the glass kind of hit my face. Thankfully I was able to pull over to the side okay. I noticed the blood dripping down. So at that point I called my husband first just to tell him I was going to call 911, and then I called 911 and they took me to the local hospital there.
Sweeten suffered cuts to the left side of her face as well as glass in her left eye, but says she's expected to make a full recovery, at least physically.
Yeah, just, even if rationally, hey, the odds of this happening again are none, just your brain associates it, and it's just, you get anxious for sure.
Washington State Patrol Trooper Will Finn says forensic analysis of fragments found inside the car led them to believe a bullet had struck Sweeten's driver's side door.
A few more inches and we might be having a different conversation today.
Finn says anyone who heard or saw anything around 11:30 on July the 23rd should give them a call.
Although she's got a great attitude about it and is upbeat, this is a very serious matter and we want to close the investigation on this.
Yeah, I felt bad. It was my husband's car. I don't normally drive it, but I took it out that night. So he's been fine, but I felt pretty bad about it.
Now, as we mentioned, Washington State Patrol is looking for any information that can help them figure out where that bullet came from. If you have any information, contact details are on your screen. Well, the August primary election comes up next Tuesday, so time is running out. You can find previews of pretty much every race on the ballot at ClarkCountyToday.com, including 2 City of Battleground races and 2 City of Vancouver races, including one with 7 candidates. We also have features on the Vancouver School Board races and several ballot measures. Be sure to check back next week for full coverage of the primary election and interviews with the people moving ahead to next November. Well, Southwest Washington Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler took time this week to speak with constituents in a telephone town hall. She spoke of her support of a House bill that would hopefully reduce the number of robocalls we're all dealing with, and said she'll work hard to get federal funding for a new interstate bridge, but only if it actually deals with the issue of traffic congestion in Clark County. Herrera Butler also revealed that she sent a letter to President Donald Trump in the wake of recent controversial tweets aimed at 4 congresswomen of color, telling him she didn't approve of the remarks. But Herrera Butler said she voted against a House resolution condemning the president's remarks, believing the resolution was itself incendiary. The congresswoman said she hopes to increase political civility by leading through example. Well, the Clark County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says they need over $500,000 to switch their case management software. A recent audit revealed the security on their current software is obsolete and can't be updated. Prosecuting attorney Tony Golick said failing to upgrade the software could cut them off from a crime database managed by the FBI and vital to doing their work. The funding decision could come sometime toward the end of the year. Well, if you live in Camas or Washougal, circle next Wednesday evening on your calendar. That's when you'll have a chance to see what the Port of Camas-Washougal has been cooking up for their waterfront area. They've been working with designers to come up with 3 concepts for 13 acres owned by the port. The open house will be a chance for people to give input on what they like and dislike so the developers can come up with a blend of the 3 concepts. I really believe it's going to change the identity of not just the port, but all of East County, said Mark Miller, Director of Planning and Development for the port. That open house is from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Port Meeting Room. You can also check out the designs by clicking the link in the story on our website. Well, hundreds of people lined up this morning for the annual Fred Meyer Pancake Breakfast and the grand opening of the 151st Annual Clark County Fair. The Clark County Fair Association has created a lineup of features that will include some new attractions, as well as many of the popular ones fair growers have grown to count on over the years. New this year is the Bugology exhibit in the feature area, featuring a large-scale animatronic bug, live bugs, a butterfly feeding garden, and a bug bar featuring a STEM-based learning experience. Get it, STEM. Naturally, the fair schedule is stocked with plenty of entertainment for all ages. And for a complete rundown of this year's attractions, check out our advanced story at clarkcountytoday.com and enjoy. Well, the hills around Washougal were echoing with the sounds of roaring motorcycles last weekend as the Washougal MX national event drew thousands to East County. Conditions were near perfect for the event, which brings some of the world's best motocross riders to Clark County every year. You can check out more of the amazing video of the event captured by our own Jacob Granneman and see the final standings at clarkcountytoday.com. Well, Paul Valencia has the week off, but that doesn't mean we don't have some sports to talk about. This week we told you about the exploits of Primetime Baseball, a team of 18 and under players from Clark County who traveled to Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Babe Ruth World Series, which opens today. And this is the third time in the last 5 years the Primetime program has advanced to the World Series. Manager Scott Binder's team has won all 10 of its postseason games en route to state and regional titles. Pitcher Hayden Williamson, a 2010 graduate of La Center High School who now plays at Bellevue University in Omaha, Nebraska, is one of the leaders of the Primetime team. Not only is he a defensive standout behind the plate, Williamson also has a team-high batting average. Primetime has a full staff of premier pitchers, and Binder believes the key to their success at the World Series is those hurlers and the defensive players who play behind them. Now, best of luck, guys. And that's your check of some of the week's top stories at clarkcountytoday.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to see when stories are posted and be part of the conversation. You can send story ideas and news tips to news@clarkcountytoday.com. For all of us here at Clark County Today, I'm Chris Brown. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.